A core idea of Aura is that running is not about running. It is not about the race. It is not about the times. It is about this mental, spiritual type of thing that happens when it just becomes a part of your life. When every day you're going out, you're putting on shoes and you're going out alone. It has nothing to do with these big races. And obviously, if you're training for those races, that's awesome. If you love that, racing is amazing. But that's not, to me, what running is about. Running is about the personal, creative, obviously, which relates to Aura, and how it just affects your whole life. That's the best way I'd describe it. It's a way of life. I read a tweet the other day about running. It said how when you start doing it, it is a new plane of existence. It's just a totally new way of living, basically. And I think that's really true. And so that's how I view it. It's much more, I think, my whole thesis, my whole theory on the core idea of Aura is that running is much more of a mental and creative act than it actually is a fitness thing. And I think a lot of athletes agree with that.
I also agree. And does that whole thesis and core idea of Aura fits with your own lifestyle, individual lifestyle also?
100%. Yeah, everything I'm, like we were talking about, kind of the stuff I've written about, and my bio on social media, which I think I changed it recently because of Aura, but it was obsession, a way of life for artists, athletes, and entrepreneurs, right? And I just want to be all three, and so that's how I view it. Yeah, it's like training is a part of that puzzle. It's a creative act, and it's much more to me than just running.
Then let's talk about Aura deeply. Where did the idea actually come from? Like, what kind of problem were you trying to solve when you began designing this product?
Yeah, so I got into running about 3 years ago. Like a lot of people, slowly got into it and then started doing marathons and then started doing ultra marathons. And I've had my social media page where I, like a lot of people, was always posting my runs on my stories. I was posting screenshots from Strava or sometimes Garmin, but mostly Strava. And I started to notice, because I follow a lot of these runners and athletes on social media, everyone's always posting little screenshots of their runs. And then I started to realize, like, everybody is doing this. Every single runner I follow. And how is there no better way to do it? How is there why do you have to screenshot and then crop out and then copy paste? And then, if you want to remove the transparency and have it be transparent, I have to go put it into It's ridiculous. Why don't we just make an app that makes it really easy and, potentially more importantly, really cool? Let's make it look really sick to post your run, where we have cool designs and it's aesthetic and it's sharp. And let's just do an app that is literally just that. The app, Share Aura, share your runs, that's it. And so that's how the idea started. And the vision is a lot bigger than that now, but it's still, that's going to be the core of it for a long time, is sharing your run.
Right. So it seems you frame Aura as a place to amplify runners' stories and their own kind of experiences daily running. And what do you hope your users feel when they upload a run and share it with their crew? And more specifically, what differs from using Strava and then using Aura?
My whole thing is that you really almost can't compare Strava and Aura right now, where Strava is this big app with all these different things,
right?
Versus Aura is just centered around this one behavior, this one ritual of, you finish your run, you open Aura, oh wow, my run's there, that's awesome, and then you share it. That sequence is, I want someone to be excited the moment they finish their run. I want someone to be so excited to open Aura and see how they're going to express themselves. Whether that is in a really simple way, I like doing simple Auras sometimes, where you just post your stats simply. Or let's say you have, some beautiful pictures you took on your run. You want to express it in a more creative way. I want people to run more because they're excited to use Aura, and for the running they do, just enjoy it more, because now it's just it's more of a creative act.
So what attracted me the most, because I'm an entrepreneur, so at first was your marketing principles. So Aura's marketing principles are pretty contrarian, no advertising, no run throughs, and like no influencers. So why did you choose those kind of rules, and why did you emphasize those rules?
We're doing no advertising, no influencers, no run clubs, no watermark. My whole thing is like, look, I had my audience, right? To kind of be our launch pad, right? Like the initial launch.
Right.
So like I didn't need any advertising to let people know the product existed. However, our app would not be working if it wasn't a good product, right? My audience is not enough. The app is blowing up in South Korea, and it's not because of me. But my whole thing is like, dude, in the fitness space, you're in the fitness space, everything's like sponsored. Everything's paid for by brands. You have all these influencers talking about products. You don't even know what's real anymore. And it's so much noise and so much, you don't know what's real nowadays. And so my whole thing is, let's build an app where we're only going to compete on one thing. We're going to compete on products, and that's it. We're going to build the best product in the world, and our product is sharing. People post their stories, and they post Instagram posts with Aura. And so if our product is good, it will work, and if it's not, it won't, and that's it. And that's the bet I was willing to take, because that's what I think is cool. And so, yeah, that's our mentality.
It's kind of their mentality for the product, right? You just keep pushing on your product confidence.
That's it. I only want to compete on product, right? Product, and like build the best way to share. Someone can try to compete with us, and that's fine. Let them. I haven't seen anyone come close yet. I think it's a cool way to do things and separate ourselves, right? Like we're going to play a totally different game.
So in recent days, you keep giving some teasers about the next steps of Aura, right? So such as cycling, weightlifting features, and you've mentioned that there are truly like tons of more to go through Aura's roadmap. And I'm really curious about it. So could you give me a brief scheme of the roadmap, or kind of hints what's next and which path is Aura heading to?
Definitely. Yeah. And so it's interesting, right? Like we have this core user base that loves sharing with our product, and we can go in a lot of different directions. We could only do running. We could only care about the content and the sharing and not care about anything else. I since day one, I am trying to build the next great running and tracking app, like Strava, like Nike Run Club, like all these big apps. That is what I'm trying to build, and sharing is very much the first kind of like act, the first phase of that. And so what's next is we're going to include cycling and lifting. So all of our athletes, can track those workouts with us and share them however they want. And Aura will still be a running app. Running is the focus. Running is the heart. But a lot of runners cycle and lift, and a lot of people on their own do those things and should be able to use our app to share, because it's awesome. And whether or not they run. After that, we're going to keep, trying to be the coolest and best way to share your workouts, share your runs. So more creative assets. And then very soon this month, we haven't really talked much about this. I'll tell you first, is we're going to have our own tracking. So you'll be able to just take your phone on a run and track with Aura, which is going to be really cool. And we have some really cool creative ideas on how we're going to implement that. And so I think that's going to be really exciting, because then people don't need anything to use Aura. They don't need a watch. They don't need anything. Strava. They don't need anything. They could just take their phone and go. And then after that, that alone is a lot. And then I think things will get really crazy. The big thing is like, we are not going to build anything that's been built before. We are only going to build stuff that has never existed in the form of a running tracking app. And I'm very much committed to that. So it should be fun.
Links to the next question. Fast forward 5 years, what would success looks like for Aura? Like, what's your long-term vision for Aura?
So the goal is, in Korea, a lot of people use Nike Run Club, right?
Right.
I'd say, would you say it's the most popular there? The most popular tracking app, or Strava?
These days, Strava is exploding. Especially
it's growing more
year.
there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. The goal is in 4 to 5 years, everyone uses Aura. That's the goal. So there's Nike Run Club, there's Strava. Whoever knows what they're doing. The goal is for Aura to just be everywhere and bigger and better. And we're going to get there step by step, I think.
And you mentioned a lot, you're driven by a kind of obsession mindset, right? So in several posts of your Instagram, I saw, and I was also motivated by your posts, and I could feel kind of discipline and intensity from you. And as I'm very enthusiast of sports, especially NBA, I know that discipline, obsession is a kind of big core factor of athlete mindset, right? So
especially Kobe. Kobe's the obsession king.
So how has obsession served you as a entrepreneur? And do you also feel that those athletic mindset gives great power and effect to you?
Yeah, I mean, the obsession is like my goal in life. It sounds crazy, but my goal is to, like, by the end of my life, for this idea of obsession to be like this global concept of, like, almost not like a religion, but like a movement, like a belief almost. And to just be fully obsessed with what you do. Like, since I started working on this app in February 1st, it's been almost 8 months, 7-8 months. I've never built an app before. And the reason it's taking off is because I spent every second of my existence on the app. Every second, basically. Like, I didn't do any other projects. I didn't do any other work. I did run, but, like, that's part of the app. Like, it's a running app. Like, I'm gonna run. But I didn't run, like, crazy amounts. I ran a lot, but, like, I was focused on the app. And so, but in the past, like last year, I would consider myself, like, I was really just an athlete. I was obsessed with running. Last year, like, I didn't have the app. I was running marathons. I was running ultra marathons. It was all I did. And so I just think it's underrated. I think focus is underrated. Obsession is underrated. And just, like, stripping away everything except this one mission you have. And so, yeah, like the athletic stuff totally helped me. Like, dude, in May, I ran these 100-mile marathons. In May, I ran 2 100-mile ultra marathons the same month. Like, after doing that stuff, like, working on the business is easy. It's like I'm sitting at a desk. I can't complain. But I try to treat the work at the desk like I'm running or like I'm doing an endurance sport. Because, like, how hard can I push at the desk? How hard can I keep going? Keep staying here and working and designing and just trying to make something great. And it's a different thing, but it's also kind of similar to running. It's intensity and endurance and focus. And yeah, I try to do the same feeling.